So we've gone over a lot of different technique sort of problem areas with the push-up. So trying to bring all this stuff together, it's tricky. So one thing I would definitely recommend is, for now, don't worry about banging out 10, 15, 20, or a high number of reps in a row, okay? To learn all these pieces, what I would really recommend is break your set. Say your goal is, I wanna do a set of, we'll say 15, okay? What I would suggest in the beginning, as you're trying to bring all these things together, is break that set of 15 into smaller numbers, okay? So you could do 5 mini sets of 3 to get your 15, okay? And the reason being is it allows you to manage fatigue, which allows you to preserve your technique through all 15 reps, okay? If you do, I'm gonna go 15, you bang out 3, and those 3 are great, and then you stop, okay? Now you can reset, focusing on all those pieces, the head and neck, shoulder blades, abs being tight, the smooth transition, all these little things we talked about. For 3 reps, that's doable. You can manage that for 3 reps, take a break, 3 more reps. But to try to take all that stuff and put all of it together for 15 consecutive reps right now, probably not gonna work. So I would definitely encourage you to break your set up into smaller sets and then slowly build. So if you're doing 5 sets of 3, you can transition that to 3 sets of 5. So your first set will be 5, then you take a break, and you do 5 and take a break. And then from there, you can actually start to have the breakdown be sort of unequal numbers. So you could have, maybe you get to 8 before you feel a breakdown in your technique, then you stop, reset, and then maybe you get 5, and then you get to the last 2, or something like that. So your numbers no longer have to be even, but in the beginning, to make it simple, to give you an easy way to track it, pick a number and just do, if you're doing 10 reps, do 5 sets of 2, okay? If you're doing 12, you can do 4 sets of 3, something like that. But keep the reps brief, and the rest in between is only gonna be a 10 or 15 second break. Okay? You don't have to sit there for 60 seconds, but I think having that little bit of a break will allow you to have better quality reps all the way through the entire set, not just at the beginning. So you've gotten good at your incline push-ups, your technique is solid, you're feeling good, your pain is gone, you want to transition to the floor. Well, how do we do that without making a mess of all the hard work you've already put in? So I'm going to give you a couple different options, things you can do to help kind of get onto the floor but preserve your technique. The first thing is actually just to do eccentric only. So every exercise has muscle contractions. You have sort of concentric and you have eccentric. Eccentric are commonly referred to as negatives. It's typically when you're lowering down, or kind of you're sort of stretching the muscle as you kind of move a little bit. So what you could do for this one is just get into the position and just lower all the way down, okay? And then get yourself back to the top position however you can, and then do another rep, okay? So you would set up in your push-up position, and then try to make this eccentric, or the negative part, really slow, like 3 to 5 seconds. Don't just crash down, okay? So get set up and come down nice and slow. And then go probably hands and knees, come back up into your next rep, down slow. So that's gonna work on helping you control the head and neck, actively squeeze your shoulder blades, keeping your abs tight. We're not gonna worry about the transition just yet. Work on just the eccentric part, keep all those things in place, and then I'll show you another way you can work on taking the eccentric and moving into both the what's called the concentric part of the push-up. So another way you can work on transitioning from the inclined position down to the floor is to use a foam roller. So what this does, it's going to limit your range of motion, and that's by design. Okay, so maybe you've worked with the eccentric a little bit, and you want to start working on actually pressing back up with good technique. This would be a great way to start to do that. So the bottom part of the motion is where you're going to have the hardest time. It's where you're going to have the greatest chance of having your technique fall apart. So this is going to keep you probably in the upper part of the motion, which for now is going to be okay. I would probably use a combination of doing some reps eccentric only, and then doing some reps this way to kind of work on both parts of it. But what you would do is you set up over the foam roller. So the goal is you're going to touch your chest to the foam roller. So you don't want to have it up by your face. You don't want to have it too low down towards your abdominal area. So again, set up in your good push-up position. Now this time, you don't have to do as slow of an eccentric. It doesn't have to be a 5-second eccentric, but still make it under control, okay? So you're gonna come down, touch, and then back up again. So when you touch the foam roller though, don't relax. It's not like, oh cool, I made it, I'm gonna take a break now. You're gonna pause in that position, but keep everything tight. Your legs and your glutes, your core is tight, your arms and shoulders, everything is tight, and then you press back up, okay? That is a great way to work on bringing all the technique stuff together on the floor through part of the range of motion. So if you've been mastering your eccentric push-ups on the floor and you did the full foam roller, get yourself a half foam roller. These things are great, by the way, for other things where you can do some great calf and ankle stretches. These things are awesome. But they're also great for push-ups because a lot of people, they start to do those little T-Rex push-ups, you know, where T-Rex hates push-ups because his arms are so short. So we used to do, they come down and they start to kind of not get the full range of motion anymore, which is no good. Having something like this ensures that the person comes all the way down and presses all the way back up. So same concept as the full foam roller, you're just gonna go through a little bit more range of motion with this one. So again, it goes underneath with the goal that your chest will come down and touch it. So you set up here, down under control. Again, pause briefly. Don't relax though. Again, everything stays tight. Keep that total body tension as you lower down and as you press back up. So I would use all three of these ideas, the eccentric only, the full foam roller, and then start to work on these, not necessarily all in the same workout, but as you're working on your push-ups, they all can kind of help one another. This can be sort of your test. Can I get all the way down and press all the way back up without having sort of a breakdown in the technique? And if you're not sure how your technique looks, take your phone out, prop it up, and record yourself doing a set or a few reps or something. You know, the video's not gonna lie. And so see what does it look like, so that way you can connect perception versus reality. You think it feels this way, does it? Does it look that way? Or is it actually something a little bit different? So by watching the video, you'll be able to see, oh, I'm sticking my butt up in the air, or oh, my elbows are flaring up. It'll give you some feedback in terms of the things you can work on next.